Boom. That was a great intro, man. I was
Yeah,
like, check
thanks.
out the pineapple, check out the herbal pineapple. Man, this is cool. What is this?
Yeah, dude,
Like,
that was
oh
custom
shit, it's
made
Black
just for
Flag.
you, just for today.
That's amazing,
Welcome
man.
everybody to this special edition of Midday Repartee. I am Rotten Glory, joined today by FragaBOOM. How you doing?
FragaBOOM.
FragaBOOM in the house.
Yes, sir.
We've got a co-host who's missing in action,
Yeah.
Captain Fuckhead of all days.
I hope he's okay. I hope
Yeah, me
whatever.
too.
Maybe he had to go get some chicken wings and like they're just going slow. I hope it's something as innocuous as that,
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
I know he works out in his garden. He does man type stuff. Maybe he
Man,
just lost track of time, or he could be
I can't
passed
wait to
out
do
in the
man stuff again.
vegetables.
I
Yeah,
can't wait to. No, I'm serious. It's like this. We were talking offline. This hernia. I just feel like a sucker all the time. You know, I'm used to being active, and like just the simple thing, like picking up my kid or getting up off the couch. It makes I feel like I'm 80. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, dude. So that surgery's happening pretty soon. Yeah,
11 days. I
11
can't
days.
wait. I'm not looking forward to the aftermath. I've had the doctor tell me some things, and a couple people that I know that had the same procedure. They said for 3 to 5 days, I'm going to wish I was dead. The doctor said there's going to be a bruise from my nuts to my belly button, like just a big, like a cannonball hit me.
Oh,
So that doesn't sound fun. But after a month, to know that I'll feel 100%, to
yeah,
me, I'm
dude.
like, let's do it. I'll whine and moan and shit. I'll be all
Well,
unhurt.
what's crazy, man? You at what percent would you say you're at right now?
65, 70 at best. Like
Yeah,
in
you at
all of the,
60.
because this happened in February, and then in May I had the kidney stone and this. So thank God for the Percocet. But right now I don't have any painkillers. I don't. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this is
So
me.
is it a constant like discomfort for you, or
It's a
what?
constant discomfort, and the way I can describe it to men, and my wife goes, "Oh, that's like cramps," but it's that feeling like if you've been hitting the nuts hard before, there's that
Oh yeah.
initial pain, and then there's that like tightness, and then there's that like lingering feeling for about 5 minutes after that's like tight and achy. I feel like that 24/7 when I'm at my best, and at
Damn.
my worst, it feels like a kick to the nuts.
Damn, dude. Well, you at 65% is better than most of us at 100. So
Ah,
I can't wait to see you at 100 again, dude. It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
fun.
I'm gonna be really loud.
I do. Somebody has shown up, and
Yeah.
I'm feeling a shift in perception. I'm still in a page right out of the FragaBOOM playbook here. So
Yo,
Captain
fuckhead.
Fuckhead
What's
in the house.
happening?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm all right. My bad, I'm late. It's been one of them weeks. Hopefully,
Mm.
being Friday and now being 7, my week is finished and I can actually start enjoying myself a little bit more. How are you,
Hell yeah.
Frega?
I'm doing fair to middling, my friend.
That's yeah, I can imagine. I've just been
Yeah.
listening to your achy ball story.
Yeah, my whinging.
just
My
just
whingy.
Nah,
My nut
man, you're not.
whinge.
No. I mean, fucking hell, what the fuck's wrong with YouTube these days, eh?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
God, dude, the channel termination, man. Let's
That's
talk about
crazy,
that for a
right?
second.
It's absolutely insane. It had to either be bots, which I don't think it was, because my brother sent me a bunch of thumbnails from YouTube that were like, if my AAT video and my thumbnail were what got me shut down. Let's call mine a 3. These are at 11. These ones he sent me, these examples. So I feel like if it was a bot, that bot would have got these. And if it's not a bot, then it was coordinated. And if it was coordinated, it happened fast.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that was incredible to me was Jay Money was in the panel. He said, "Dude, check your channel." I checked my channel. I saw I had no channel. I was like, "What the what?" I went to check my email. Then the emails from YouTube came after. Usually what happens is they go, "You've had a warning," right? And you go, "Oh shit, I better not do that again." Because that's what they do. They usually, like, if you get a strike, you get a strike. All of the strikes happen at the same time for both the thumbnail and the AAT video. They happen in such a fast succession that YouTube said, "You're out. Multiple strikes for nudity and explicit sexual content." We all know, anybody that watched that stream, that was not explicit sexual content. Clothed booty, closed breast, covered nipple, heart breast.
I was there, man. I was watching the stream up to a certain point, and before I checked out, and it was like everything was fine. I saw you play. I think you'd played that already a couple times.
I did. And
it was like there was nothing. It's just this is clothing people wear out in public. I think anywhere in the world.
That's right.
No problem. So yeah, I feel like it's a malicious attack, no doubt.
But for what reason, though? Like, that's the thing. It's like, as far as CG's concerned, I'm probably like as far as being outspoken, I only talk out if I'm asked questions. And the weird thing to me about that particular stream, it was the first time that I was outspoken. Like, literally, I don't really go off on anything. And I went off on the death threats on Laura Bailey for Last of Us, because I don't like Last of Us as a concept, but that voice actor who's being attacked happens to be a friend. I did a piece on Halle Berry saying sorry for being up for a role. That's fucking stupid. And also, I went at Doug TeNapel for picking on people in Oz's stream, the way he was talking to them and calling them little one. I went out after him. And that was it. And usually I don't do any of that stuff. So it was just weird. It was like, oh, you better, you're done. Crazy.
Were you feeling like there's a connection there?
I don't know. That's there could be many things. Like, literally the Google and YouTube have given is nudity and explicit sexual content, multiple instances of. So that means somebody reported it, or multiple parties reported it, or you know what I'm saying? Somebody reported it multiple times.
It's organized.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about
organized.
it. And what really kind of pisses me off too is that if you go to the Couch Doodles channel now, it has that. It says that. That's the only thing on the screen, really, is that this is what you were terminated for.
Right.
And it's like, really? Is that necessary?
Right. That's the other thing. It makes
it
sound all lewd and like I was being a nasty man.
Yeah.
And I wasn't.
Yeah, dude. So I don't, the whole thing, the way YouTube handles this whole thing is like, this is some nonsense, man.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if they're putting that up there, they're doing that purposely to shame you. That's the only thing I can think of.
I'm not shamed by it. I'm not shamed by it though.
No,
like,
I know.
No, you're not. Of course not.
Yeah, but I mean, what YouTube are doing, if they're displaying that you've been struck for illicit content, that's essentially they're putting you on. They're kind of putting you on a pedo list, if that makes sense. That sounds awful.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I could have said that much better, but you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's sort of, but here's the thing: is there was no, like, that's a guilty till proven innocent thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally, when I filed the appeal, I said, I see the strike is for nudity. The only thing that was on my channel were bikini-clad women. Please review, as you will see, there is no nudity or sexual content whatsoever. And that's what I put, and I haven't heard back from them. It, but you're right, Captain. I'm good with. I'm okay. I'm 100% okay with losing my channel. Like I was the second it happened. I was like, worst case, I don't get it back. Okay, fine. Like I know that sounds crazy, but I've dealt with a lot of loss in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
My mother going, my grandmother going, best friend going. Dealt with a lot of loss. So the loss of human life, a channel is nothing.
Yeah.
The loss of all my content, I'm like, fuck. But then, Ascension Cinema happened to download some stuff. I was able to salvage some things. I'm like, yeah, okay. The loss of monetization. Well, that sucks because it helps pay for StreamYard, and the memberships are great, and being able to have, the communication via Super Chat is a fun dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
All of that could be rebuilt. But you're right, Kat, and the calling me a name part, that's not cool.
No, that ain't cool at all.
Yeah, I don't care for that. It's like because people who don't know you, maybe it's somebody's first time like hitting on Couch Doodle's channel, and they see that and they're like, oh fuck, well.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't. If my channel is gone, it should just be gone. It shouldn't go scarlet letter.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
and why is that? It shouldn't say anything about why. All it should be is like, this channel's no longer available. There needs to be no information about that. That's between you and YouTube.
That's right.
It's fucking bullshit.
And it hasn't been settled. That's the other part, is it hasn't been settled.
They won't. They're because they've removed your channel. They'll just ignore you. They don't care.
You think?
That's how they work. Yeah. They will not even. They will not even. I very much doubt they'll even open the email.
It is what it is.
I don't know, man. I would hold out hope that I think you can. And I kind of want to look into is if there's any way we can, as fans, kind of team together and reach out to YouTube.
Like petition?
In mass to
Star
be like, come on.
Star Wars Girl, I was talking to her on the phone, I believe it was yesterday, and she said the best way to get a hold of YouTube is via Twitter. Mm-hmm. So if the fan said, bring back Couch Doodle's channel, he did nothing wrong, and then you tag YouTube creator.
That's exactly what I did, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And
it was like at YouTube. What are you doing?
Hit. Yeah. But here's the silver lining, or the lemonade from the lemons. One of the things I've been wanting to do is grow the channel and grow the platform, because I have a lot to say in regard to creativity. My whole channel is about inspiring creativity. There's through example, and trying to get people that are on the fence or that maybe feel like they don't have what it takes. I want them to know they do have what it takes. And that's what my channel is all about. That's why there's, the best paper, best pens. I'm interviewing all of these people that are talking about their process. I need to grow my channel to get the signal louder. So that's been my thing. So I talked to Star Wars Girl about how she grew her channel. And there's a lot of things that aren't obvious, that they don't. There's videos about it, but you kind of have to dig. Like if you look how to grow your YouTube channel, you get like thousands of results, and they all say thousands of different things. But
right.
One of the things was unifying the thumbnails, so that people, when they see a thumbnail, they can tell it's from your channel. Like my old channel, I had 300 plus videos of just random, just random. So now I have an opportunity to go, okay, here's this video. It's got the lightning bolt. It's got this font. You know that when you see that, it's another something from the FragaBOOM channel, right?
Yeah.
So I can do that, and now I can also curate. I can go, oh well, only this content is going up from now on. So there's a feeling to it. Also, when I start doing lives, I'm not going to clutter up my channel with lives. Once I do a live, I run it as unlisted, and I'm going to archive over. I have a FragaBOOM live archive channel that has no followers yet, but I'm putting all my live archives over there. So when you come to my channel, you get the live of the day if you want to be there. But then at least there's this content. I can start organizing into playlists. Here are my interviews. Here are my tech reviews. Here are my comic book reviews. Here are my, I have all these interview magazines that I'm going to start reading through. Classic, like John Byrne, Frank Miller, like classic interviews that I'm going to go read through of magazines that are hard to get, So I'm going to do those. So it's a chance to, like, to me, this, like I said, the silver lining and the lemonade out of lemon aspect of it is I have a clean slate. I can make the channel what I want to make it and not have to deal. It's like I don't have to clean house to make the thing I want. It's literally blank.
It was kind of done for you, yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely done for me.
There you go. It's time to do what you were wanting to do. Get to it, man.
I really like that attitude.
Nice.
I was talking to Art T. Bear yesterday, and he was saying that he had a meeting with representatives of Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger back in the early '90s about turning something he was doing into a film.
Sure.
And he said when they came out of that meeting, him and his wife, or his wife particularly, was like, "Well, that was a waste of time." And he went, "No, let's go celebrate." She's like, "What? No, come on, we're going to go and celebrate." She said, "Why? Nothing happened of it." I said, "Exactly. But we just wasted 2 hours of a very important man's time."
Beautiful.
Just beautiful. Yeah. That's a perfect attitude when things like this happen. You just got to, you know what? It's an opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean, we only live once, and I'm a firm believer. And it's only in perspective. It's only as I know I'm not old, but I can call myself an old man because I have the perspective now that I didn't have when bad things were happening. Like in my 20s, even though I was part of Image and a lot of good things, there were a lot of things that I didn't care for that had happened. But it's only now in hindsight that I see that, like, you know, no one wants to get burned, right? But you gotta temper steel to make it stronger. You know what I'm saying? And that steel doesn't know it when it's in the fires, but when it's cutting and it's doing its job as a sword, it's like, hell yeah, I needed that fire, you know? And that's how I try to see things now. Whenever anything happens, I go, okay, what is it? Look at the big picture. What is it that this can be, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't think anything happens just to happen.
I want to take a second. If you haven't subbed to the channel, I would appreciate that. If you can, share this out. Let's get some more ears on this, because we're gonna get into some really juicy, good stuff. You know, FragaBOOM, you've kind of come into ComicsGate. You did it with style. You continue to do it with style. I mean, just what you just talked about, your approach, your attitude, and how you try to inspire other people to be their best selves. I think you've kind of created I don't know, there's energy around you that is so positive, and so people just love being around it. And I'm really looking forward to getting into that with you, like, you know, your process on entering ComicsGate, like what you went through mentally to, like, make that decision.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you. Those are some kind words, man. I find a lot of inspiration outside of myself. I see guys like Bruce Lee, who I'm still a huge fan of. Read a lot of books by Tony Robbins. What's his name? Dr. Dwyer, but I'm trying to forget. Wayne Dyer. There we go. Man, my brain went, hey. Wayne Dyer is great. There's a couple other books out there that are fantastic. There's one, you know, there was a book that was popularized about 10 years ago called The Secret, right? Oh, yeah. But The Secret, have you ever been to California?
I'm in this place right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm in this hell known as California.
Okay, so you've had an In-N-Out burger, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and you've had a McDonald's burger, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, The Secret is like is a McDonald's version of what the Master Key System is. The Master Key System was written in the late 1800s and is 100% dense and solid and worthy of being reviewed multiple times and really kind of ingested. What had happened is, like Dale Carnegie with How to Win Friends and Influence People, he took all of that, and he also took the Infinite, In Tune with the Infinite by Waldo Trine. In Tune with the Infinite and Master Key System, both written in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They took from these books and basically made their own thing, but they're like full on distillations, but not in a good way. They're missing out on a bunch of shit, right? So I read those books. I highly recommend the Master Key System. I recommend In Tune with the Infinite. Just those things, and having an understanding that we're all in this together. And even the bad guys, like, I get mad at them, and that's why I don't talk a lot of shit. But Doug, like, the reason I was talking shit on Doug is I really thought he was being a bully, and I hate bullies, man. I'm like Captain America in that way. I do not like bullies, you know. Yeah. I just don't. But that's where all that came from, and that's segueing into what you were asking about how I ended up in ComicsGate. It's weird because I've been friends with Ethan since '95, so we're going on 25 years now, and he and I would always talk on the phone. We were both working on Wolverine fill-ins at the same time, and he went over onto the X-Men. I went over to DC, went on to an issue of Superman, and then after Superman, I have to comic. And I've been watching Ethan and what he's been doing and his rise, and always thought, man, he's doing such good stuff, right? And then obviously the controversy happened, and I'm like, people just don't understand him, right? Like, they just don't get it. Then he had asked me to come on his show at one point. This is like 2017. Yeah. When he was first getting going, and I said, yeah, I think I will. And then I had talked with another comic book friend who was more kind of has his ear to the ground, like me. I'd left comics, so I went to the store, but I didn't pay attention to anything that was happening in the landscape of comics as far as dramas. You know, I didn't know anything about anyone. And I was given the scoop on how Ethan was a Nazi, and then how John Malin was a Nazi, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, what? Oh shit! Whoa! You know. And I was like, I didn't know any of this. This sounds crazy. You know, like, that doesn't sound right. So I made the decision. I said, hey, you know, and I said to Ethan, I said, listen, I don't think I can be coming on your show. And that was, and I knew where I was coming from. I was coming from a place of fear. Just, you know, I don't want to be a Nazi like that.
Well, sure, and I think EVS would be the first to kind of like say, hey,
yeah,
this is a possibility, just to warn you.
Right, right. And so that was that. And then we still talked and still were friends, and I started watching more of his show and getting to the bottom of what ComicsGate is and the history of it, and kind of like going back to like the Captain Cumming days, and like all of this stuff that resulted in Zach saying what he said about the milkshake incident, and kind of how everything led to how it did. And then all the while seeing what a lot of people call SJWs. I don't call them that. I have my reasons, and my reasons are simple, that justice is justice, social justice is justice. Justice is justice, and these people that are being called SJWs are not out for justice at all. They're woke culture, right? Mogwai Centurion, I love him.
Yeah.
They're not out for justice. They're out for control. And there's this thing that happens, and I had to come to the realization that, again, after a while, where I noticed that there's this tactic of exaggeration, right? So what you do is, the reason why virtue signaling is so important in wokey culture is if you were playing like a role-playing game, it's a way to bolster your shield points, or your whatever it is, your protection spell, or whatever you call it. Virtue signaling goes, I am awesome. That's I'm going to do my SJW. Okay, I am awesome. Now let's show how bad everyone is. And so their goodness is exaggerated, and they'll take something that is the dumbest thing, Like, that person knows someone who knows someone. Like, I watched Renfamous because my name and book were mentioned on a white pride site by somebody as a book they were looking forward to. Therefore, I too must be Nazi, and like all of these, connections, and you just go, what? That's just nuts. You're not doing any service or justice to anybody. You're literally trying to control the narrative, and just put notches in your belt, and it's ridiculous. But going back to what had happened for my journey into ComicsGate is I became first afraid, right? Oh, Nazis, oh. And then watching it, researching it, and going, nah, I'm actually okay with it. I would call myself ComicsGate adjacent. And I started coming on to Ethan's show, and Ethan would come on to my show. And this is way before. And then, I got my copy of Cyberfrog and was like celebrating it and like, putting it on Twitter, and having a lot of people go, oh, you can't celebrate that. That guy supports hate. That's a cult. This is that. And I'm like, it's a fucking comic and it's awesome, And then in this past March, I ended up seeing some guy saying that Ethan was a scammer, right? He's a scammer. He ripped off everybody who got Blood Honey should feel ripped off. And I just said, I don't feel ripped off. I feel like every dime I spent is more than made up for in this awesome book. And he's like, did you know that book is worst paper ever, this, that, and the other? And I said, first off, I'm very satisfied with the product. That's number one. Number two, nobody pays for the paper and staples. They pay for what is in the contents of it. You're not paying for you buy a Blu-ray, you're not looking at the plastic it's on. You pop the movie in and you fucking watch it and you think that movie was awesome. You're not on what it's made. Then the guy went into like, what do you even know about printing? And I was like, okay, well, since you asked, before I was in comics, I worked in pre-press, and like I did work in printing. And then, what do you know about good comics? And I said, well, I've worked in retail and I was this, that. And he goes, look at you. We're having an argument about if he ripped it off, and now you're beating your chest about how great you are working in comics and doing this and the other. I'm sure you're proud, all this stuff. And then it turned into that I was a cuck. Like, new names started being thrown at me because I defend comics. And at that point, I was like, you're a fucking bully. Like, fuck you. Guess what? You're the one. Put a badge on your. I'm ComicsGate. But I didn't even make that video. I just said I'm ComicsGate and put it out there on Twitter. And then on Facebook, I shared one of Ethan's statuses. And a lot of industry professionals were like, I'm surprised. I'm judging. I'm not your friend anymore. This stuff. And I promise these people now, and I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to name names, but I love locusts. That's good. It's like a locust, good, dude. Like a locust.
Dude, it's so perfect. It's like the swarm, man.
A swarm. Yeah. But I promise I wouldn't name names. But a couple of the people that I had interviewed reached out to me, and one of them said, I don't want to be associated with you even tangentially. Please do not air my interview. And I pled with him. I said, listen, man, you're such a talent. Your story is inspiring. I said, you know me. And this is a guy I've known for, 20 plus years. I'm like, you know me, dude. Why? Like, you should know that if I'm saying I'm ComicsGate, you should know that it's not a hate group. You should know, like, let my example be the example. So you like, no, man, no way. You've just burned your career. You just, and I said, dude, I don't feel that way. I feel like, and especially after this happened, I'll tell you now. So he says to me, not only do I not want you to run my interview, but I want you to reach out to everyone else you interviewed and let them know you're ComicsGate, so they can make up their minds how they want to deal with you. And dude, I was initially hurt you know, like, what the fuck, man? Like, hung up the phone and just kind of like that to myself, but you fucking know me, man. Like,
Yeah.
you fucking know me, man. And then I started thinking about it. Call everyone. Tell them that you're ComicsGate now, you know? And then I was like, what? Like, I got herpes and I need to call all my old sexual partners and go, I have the herp. You might want to see, you know, you might be ComicsGate too, you know, like, hey, you know, and it really upset me. So I made a video. Basically saying, like, this guy pushed me to the edge, this other person saying this. I realized that, no, I'm full stop against this sort of thing. And during that same week, Snowflake and Safe Space came out. Mm-hmm. During that same week, you had guys, and I don't mind naming this guy's name because I don't know him from Adam, other than that he's a writer, and I don't know this lady from Adam, other than that she's a high-profile editor. But when you're saying things like, don't buy my book, if you're a Trump supporter, fuck you, things like that, dude, first off, I'm not a Trump supporter. That'll catch a lot of people by surprise. I'm not definitely wasn't a Hillary supporter either, but like, my point in all of this is, I don't care who you voted for. Like, you're my customer. If you like good shit, I'm here to make good shit for you. And like, when I realized that too is what ComicsGate is about, it's no holds barred, just make good shit. Don't concern yourself with this sort of wokest ideas of, check box. You can't have, like, I have a character named Geisha, and her name was made Geisha back in 1994. I am absolutely aware what a geisha is now. I wasn't when I did, but it doesn't matter. That's her name, and I'm not going to change it for some woke BS. And I'm not going to alter my style. When you see guys like J. Scott Campbell being told they should have their hands broken and that they shouldn't be allowed to draw women because they're not the way certain people want to see women represented, you hit the fucking road, you know?
Yeah, dude.
That's the stuff I'm full stop against. And that means that, guess what, guys? I'm ComicsGate. Like, all the things I just listed, I am ComicsGate to the fullest, you know?
I remember when that dropped, when, you actually put out that video, because everything up to that point, I really wasn't too aware of. But then that video hit, and it was just so profound to see someone just, not just kind of like tiptoe in and say, hello, ComicsGate, and like kind of ease their toe into the water. No. You were just like, boom.
Yeah.
I am ComicsGate. Like, you just hit that point, and you're like, I see what's going on here.
That's what
I see what you're doing, and I'm not having it.
I'm not. And I'm not even.
There was there was a wave of momentum and energy created by that, and I don't, that wave is yet to break, man. You're still building that wave.
Just wait till I get my hernia surgery, bro.
Exactly. Wait till this guy can lift cars again.
Yeah.
Just you wait.
Yeah.
And it, what I gotta say, what I really appreciated about you entering the landscape of CG is that you actually took time. You wanted to learn the lore.
Yeah.
You wanted to understand, like, there are all these nuances and slangs and like memes, and you were hungry. You were thirsty for it. Like, you were taking it all in, and you didn't instantly drop. You didn't come in with like, buy my book. No. You came in with like, teach me what this is.
Yeah.
Let me learn what this is, and let me share myself with you. Get to know me.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna give you my book.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that, man. And I think, is that something you would recommend to anyone trying to come into this?
I mean, I guess. I mean, that's just how I am. Anytime I enter any new environment, I do my best to be respectful of all of the, I don't know, the cultures, the aspect of things, because, amen, Wolverine. It's my favorite thing. That's just it. If I could put, like, it doesn't sound right, ATF, like if I could put food in there too.
Yeah.
Because the sidebar, there was this super rich Sultan Sheikh dude who had like money that gave us spend. He could literally give $1 million to everyone and still be the richest man on earth, right?
Right.
And he was being interviewed because it's kind of interesting that here's this guy, he's the richest man in the world, and you would think that you want to get into his head, right? And the lady interviewer said to him, "Is there anything that still excites you? I mean, you can have anything you want." And he says, "That's a great question." He says, I have multiple homes all over the world. I can travel anywhere I want. I have jets. I have all the cars. I've slept with all the women. I have all the toys. He said the only thing that still excites him every day is food, like just different variations of food. And like,
Right.
I know exactly what it means, man. When I think about like a homemade burger, and like here's the thing, when we have burgers at my house, I'm a 2-burger man, and I don't make either of them the same. One of them has sharp cheddar and bacon and arugula and stone ground mustard. The other one has Swiss cheese, and like it's a totally different thing because I like to, so that's why I would put food in there. But going back to your initial question, I just recommend anybody just respect people's culture, and also like get to understand things before you put your foot in your mouth. It's like, if you didn't know that cows are sacred in India, and you went in there eating a steak, dude, and you're like, what?
What's
like
the problem?
Yeah, what's your problem? These are good, like
yeah.
You got to know.
It just, I think that there was a level of respect for me when you didn't instantly have something on for sale.
Well, no.
You were like, I want to get to know you guys.
Yeah.
And I want you to get to know me, and I want to prove to you that I have something I'm going to bring it to the table. I'm going to do this thing the right way. And only once I've kind of proven that, am I going to try and reach it, am I going to try and sell you this thing?
Right.
And I think that, this is really an important aspect, because there's so much of this now, especially, with everything that goes on, all the drama, it's a trust thing,
Yeah.
You got to build that trust with the customers, the fans.
100%.
And it was really fun watching you do that.
Yeah.
You made it fun, man, and you really bring your own flavor to it. You bring a lot of great ideas to your live streaming. I love your the way you kick people, the way you bring people in. Like you're always bringing ideas, dude. Your creativity is just sparking all the time.
I don't want to say a bored child, but from the ages of 2. Well, I guess birth till 12, I live with my dad. He's a good dude. He's been on a couple of my streams. The way
that's right. Yeah. I saw him. Dude, what?
Yeah,
Papa Fraga?
Yeah. He his style of child rearing was completely different than my mother's. They split up when I was 2. My mom loved to party. She loved good times. She didn't care about like. She let things hang, you know what I mean? Like very free spirited. Whereas my dad, we went to Sunday school. A lot of yes, sir, yes, ma'am, thank you, please. A lot of pleasantries and things. And from being raised with my dad until I was 12, we were on a chicken farm. And there are a lot of chores to be done. I mean, a lot of chores. We had a garden, we had a rose garden, we had multiple animals, geese, ducks, chickens, pigeons, guinea pigs, fish, dogs, cats, birds. Like we had like basically, wasn't any Joe Exotic type, crazy Tiger King type stuff. But I bet my dad would if he could, But it was our job as kids, especially my older brother and my job to take care of that stuff. So a lot of we were similar in age. We grew up in the time of the Saturday morning cartoon, and when it was like the most crucial. Like, you know, you're watching Thundar the Barbarian and Mr. T and the T-Force and like Pac-Man and his amazing friends and like, you know, Blastar and like all these really great cartoons. But Saturday mornings were super chore days. Like every day, Monday through Friday, it's chores. We got up early to take care of chores before we got to eat breakfast, before we went to school, and then when we got home from school. But Saturdays were like, oh, you guys aren't at school. Cool. Now you guys can do even more.
Even more.
There was a lot of time to be in my own head, you know. And also, we were poor, so we didn't have a lot of toys, Christmases and birthdays, that sort of thing. But I was very lucky. There was this guy a couple doors down in our area who was doing this garage sale, and I helped move box out and all this stuff. I was probably about 9 or 10, and he said, "Hey, let me thank you. Pick anything you want from over here." And it was like old busted TVs, old busted radios, you know, things like that. But there was this one radio, this little handheld radio, battery powered, 9-volt battery style, that picked up the TV sound, right? So you could basically, if you wanted to, listen to MASH. If MASH was on, you know, you just dial it in and you can hear the sound of the TV. No picture, but you can hear the sound. So Saturday mornings, my mornings became better because I was listening to those cartoons.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I really feel like, you know, this is what we were talking about earlier about those things that were bad that convert into good. Here I am having to listen to cartoons while my friends are getting to eat sugary cereals and sit and watch cartoons. We weren't allowed to have sugary cereals at my dad's house. It was rice with butter or oatmeal or grape nuts, because my
I know the feeling, dude.
Yeah,
same boat, dude.
Yeah,
like the only time I could eat a sugary cereal is if we went camping.
Right.
Then I could choose like that one box of like something, and then I'm like, oh shit, I love camping.
Yeah, but my mom's house was the polar opposite of my dad's. From 12 to 18, those 6 years that I lived with my mom, like, my stepdad left like porno mags out in the open, you know, like they had the Playboy channel and they'd watch it in their room, and like you could walk in and they weren't like, get out of here. They were literally like, yeah, what do you need? You know, Mom, where's the Pepsi? You know.
Now see that now he should have been canceled by YouTube, not you.
Right.
Not you.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. That my mom's house was very kind of like, as long as you were respectful and you stayed out of trouble, you know, it's fine. You can swear as long as you weren't disrespectful. You could say, oh man, this shit is crazy, right? That's fine. But you can't say to your mother, you know, I don't give a shit, because that's where disrespect happened. It was like a more of a loose thing, but I could definitely say it gave me perspective. But as far as like when you're talking about imagination, I have to thank those years on the farm, being stuck in my own head and not having a lot of money as sort of the fertile ground in which to grow the imagination.
Yeah, I get that. So because you were just listening to the cartoons, it was up to your brain. You had to formulate the imagery in your own head.
Yeah.
I get that, dude. That's
I also there were 2 movies that I did this with: Enter the Dragon and Rambo First Blood Part 1. I got those Maxell extended play, the 120-minute cassettes, and I told my mom, I'm gonna record this. Don't go in your room. And I'd set like a timer, you know, at 58 minutes to know that to stop the VCR, flip the tape. And when I used to walk to school and walk home from school, I would be listening to Enter the Dragon, or I'd be listening to First Blood. So those are like 2 movies of my youth that I just like, I know by heart. Like I can put those on in the background and tell you exactly what's happening where.
I think I can do that with Star Wars, because that's when I was that was one of the first films I ever saw at the cinema. Certainly Empire. That's my one memory of that.
Yeah.
But I was listening to that. I'm thinking we need to do a ComicsGate GoFundMe to see if we can get Mr. Couch Doodles, Mr. FragaBOOM, the Fresh Prince of Derriere, a Betamax. player?
Hey, Captain, I had one.
You still got one?
I've got
Legend.
a Betamax, and I'll tell you why. I inherited my mother's father's 70s porn collection. Okay.
You're like, but it was Betamax.
Yeah, but it's all on Betamax. So it's High School Memoirs, it's Sex World, it's Babyface, it's Taboo, and yeah, I went and got a Betamax just so I could check out the good bush.
The one reason to invest
Fresh
in Betamax.
Prince of Derriere. I like that. That's good.
That's a good line, dude. Captain, when did you come up with that? Just now?
Oh well, Frega came on the CG UK show a while back, and I wanted Commie Mark to introduce him as the fresh. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Definitely, it started off the Fresh Prince of Derriere, and then it moved into something. What the fuck was it? The White Will Smith.
Oh, nice! I like that.
That works too.
But Mark didn't have the balls.
That surprises me. What are you talking about?
No, honestly, didn't have the balls.
Commie Mark not having the balls?
Yeah, he wouldn't call him the White Will Smith.
What? This is the guy that sent me this thank you letter.
Oh, you got a dick pic?
Oh,
yes.
I got the shark cock. I got the shark cock thank you for getting his book, dude. I mean, come on.
Did you see the Frankenpenis the other day that he did for Wally? That was superb.
No, I didn't get that.
Yeah, Frankencock's great.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm I don't know, maybe 50-60% of the way through Best Korea. It's really funny.
Hey, hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna be doing some work while we stream.
Okay.
All right, hold on a second.
I have noticed that you're getting a bit of. I was supposed to hold on, wasn't I? I have noticed the bunny suit's been getting blingier and blingier and blingier.
Oh no! It just happened at 150. I went and did it, and had some fun with it. Hold on, there it is. My buddy
He's got a work emergency, people.
It is a work emergency, but we can still talk. I can talk and draw. I get every now and then I get asked to make changes.
Yeah.
On something. So the
now is this for something you can talk about, or is it hush hush?
It's a hush hush thing. All I can say, a friend of mine is doing a pitch at Netflix, and are crucial.
Nice, dude. Nice.
So I'm actually gonna make the changes in Photoshop because it'll go faster and I can get them to him. So
what would you usually use?
I use Procreate, and then I do a mainstay of the drawing in Procreate, and then I do effects and directional arrows in Photoshop because it goes faster. So what we'll do is you're gonna have me in profile, and I'm gonna be doing these fixes.
Dude. This is a rare perspective.
Yeah, but you guys can totally ask any sort of questions that need to be asked.
Yeah, we will do. I do want to give a shout out to Lucius, who he was the guy responsible for the artwork in the thumbnail.
It's great.
Yeah, dude, this guy's been dropping some great Couch Doodles, FragaBOOM fan art. He's done Kelsey. He's done Scalahor.
Who is Scalahor?
Scalahor is Skeletor with breasts.
Oh,
which
shit.
is we all need it in our lives. We didn't know we needed it, but obviously we did because there it is. Lucius is he's a great artist. He's gonna go on to become a tremendous ComicsGate creator. I have no doubt about it. I'm going to drop his link to Lucius's Twitter right now. So be sure to follow him.
I've even got a Lucius Captain Fuckhead on my wall above my head.
There you go. Yeah.
You gotta love that.
Yeah.
I love that picture. It's kind of Unabomber-ish, but like.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that, but like.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen this man?
For some reason, I was drawn to the raw pencils rather than one of his color pieces. It just seemed cooler. But you're right. It does have that quality about it.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's definitely America's Most Wanted. Definitely.
Yeah. Someone had drawn one where I'm like holding out a gun, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, but like, can't it be a microphone?
Can it be a mic? How has that been? What's it like having not just your comic book characters become fan art, but your identity become kind of a focus of fan art? Has that been interesting for you? Like unexpected? What?
I don't know. Funny enough is I haven't really considered it too much. I don't know, man. I mean, thinking about it, yeah. I think it's really cool.
Dan Freckett, the Unihopper. Thank you for that, Wolverine.
I like that. There you go.
The chat. The chat you can always count on to bring the most entertaining shit to any show.
The other one that's pretty funny is I really like Hail Salad's version of me as well. That one's pretty good.
Dude, that perplexes Ethan a little bit, but
yeah, I don't understand
get it,
why.
Man. It's like an Easter egg. Like he's like he couldn't get the egg connection. I'm like,
yeah,
it's an Easter egg
connection. The bunnies that come out of the rabbit that comes out of a hat.
Yeah, dude, it's like Camel Moon has a he has a very comedic mind. Like I love the way he abstractly puts things together.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, like, there's people talk about if you don't know anything about ComicsGate, if you're not up on all this stuff, and you watch an episode of Hell Salad, like, it's not going to make any sense. And I'm like, no, it's going to be. I bet it would be more funny if you had no idea about any of this. I think it would actually be more funny because it's so off the wall, so abstract, so unexpected. That I think the comedy is there whether you know about ComicsGate or don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
and even better is there's the Hail Salad book that just launched yesterday.
I know, man.
Which is
fucking sexy. Camel Moon is a tremendous artist in his own right. This guy can do multiple styles. I'm gonna get that link dropped in the chat right now. Hell Solid, it launched yesterday. It's doing really well.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Let's check where it's at. Let's see where this thing is landing, man. I think it's doing really well. Dun dun.
I do the same thing where I have a song in my head. It's the loading song. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I love this cover. He's got multiple covers to choose from,
and he's got one that's only available for one more day, which is today.
Oh, right.
Right.
Right. Is that that. Like hollow foil?
It's a foil one plus the sitting Caesar. That's
the sitting Caesar standee.
Yeah, that's only available through that.
That was smart, man. This guy gets it. I would say that Camel Moon is on par with EVS in terms of like constructing a campaign that is like maximizing. Look, if you want the whole collection, you gotta get this now. You gotta act fast.
Right.
Lots of cool. You can enter in, just get the book if you want, which is more my speed. If I could, I would, but. If you want to spend the bucks, you can get a massive amount of cool product, all these standees. I think it's a great idea. And he's prepared, man.
Standees. I'm not backing those standees until the rabbit is in the house. He said that's not happening until V3, man. I was insulted.
Oh, wait, you're not in there?
Nah.
Oh, shit.
He says there's going to be a third series, right?
Okay.
What up, Bandito?
Bandito is in the house.
Yeah. I just made these changes, so I'm going to email them off real quick and text my dude to let him know. Yeah, he's good, fantastic director. One of the
Nice.
I just started learning to do the overlays, which is what got me in trouble with that ass titty one.
Yeah, it can, man. We have a tendency when you first figure it out, you're like, you go way overboard, like every other, like, click it. But you fall into a rhythm.
Yeah.
I really liked what you were doing. Like, again, your whole, I love the, like, entering into the whiskey glass when you bring a new guest on. I thought that shit was pretty fly.
We're jumping into another.
There's whiskey?
There is whiskey on my show.
There's always whiskey.
Captain, you're always welcome, dude. I know we're 5 hours apart, right? It's at what, 8? Just turned 8 o'clock over there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, you can come on the show anytime, and then we'll have you deep dive into the whiskey.
I could deep dive in. Yeah, that's not.
What's your favorite whiskey? Like, are you like bourbon, Scotch, Irish, American?
That's a question, right? Okay, so it's I pretty much will drink it all. I know there's a lot of people out there that I'm a Scotch man. I'm a single malt man. And there's a lot of single malt drinkers that say they won't drink anything but single malt. But there are some fantastic blends out there. There's one of my favorite blended whiskeys, a whiskey called Monkey Shoulder.
Oh, I know Monkey Shoulder. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, I mean that's we talk about blended whiskey, but that's blended from 3 classic single malt whiskies. So its history's all there. And its flavor's fantastic. When it comes to smoky whiskey, I'm a big fan of anything from Islay or Jura. I'm a big fan of Talisker. My favorite smoky whiskey is actually a thing called Smokehead.
I thought you were going to say something like Lefroy or something.
Yeah, Lefroy's all right, but I'm a big fan of Smokehead. I'd describe that. I think it's another blend, and I'd describe that as it's like heavy metal of whiskeys. Like it's one of those. When you first heard heavy metal music and your brain took a few minutes just to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Hold up, like Captain Fuckhead, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna do a segue. I learned it from watching you. Tomorrow, I am doing a special show. It's Butch Cleaver's launch day tomorrow. He's gonna be on Weekend Woke Up Call with Arch City Comics. After that, we're doing a special show, and guess what? We're premiering a heavy metal track with vocals by Death Metal Hero, man. Nobody's heard this. Nobody's seen it. It's going to be a whole video.
I love Death Metal Hero. I love that man.
He's a champion. So, Captain Fuckhead, thank you for teaching me the ways of the segue.
Yeah, all you need to do is listen for keywords and then just jump in.
Yes. Exactly. Anyway,
but yeah, I mean, look, I do like a lot. I do like bourbon. There's a lot of decent bourbons out there. I'm a big fan of Japanese whiskey.
I just had my first.
Yeah, Japanese whiskey's fantastic, but I mean, Japanese whiskey's all.
Why does that sound like an oxymoron? I don't know.
No, well, it's not. There's the two main distilleries that sort of started whiskey in Japan, which was about 20 years ago or so, maybe a bit longer actually.
Suntory, Nikka.
Yep. So Suntory's especially, I believe their actual history was that the founders of the distillery actually came to Scotland, spent 5 years in Scotland, or 5 or so years, something like that, learning about how to actually make traditional single malt Scotch whiskey. So then they took that home. And of course, you have different malts and different barleys and all that sort of stuff in different areas of the world. So they took what they learnt here, took that back to Japan, and of course, using what they can grow there. And of course, they have a different climate there. So the climate affects the taste of whiskey. So they knew what they were doing by the time they left. By the time they left Scotland, took all that knowledge home, poured it into what they had access to in Japan. 20 years later, I think it's a bit older than that. But obviously, whiskey takes a lot. Well, single malt only takes 3 years to be matured in a barrel. But we all know the longer you leave it in the barrel, generally the better.
That's why I have my own barrels.
Oh, very nice. Well, that's people talk about single malts as well, but in general, most single malts now can only be classed as single malts. They have to be barrel cured for a minimum of 3 years, but it's all ex-bourbon barrels now.
Oh, well, that's
so a lot of the distilleries here actually get their barrels from the States.
That makes perfect sense. Have you had the Jefferson's Ocean yet?
I have not, no, but I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, it's right now they're on their 19th. Well, they're on their 20th. I have a batch of the 19th. They go and they take whiskey, they put it in barrels, and then they put those barrels on a ship, and they leave that ship out at sea for a minimum of 3 years. So it crosses the equator 4 times. It stops in 5 continents, and it hits over 30 ports. And the aging process happens at sea. And like you said, the weather and all that stuff affects how the whiskey's aged, but also because it's on a boat, the whiskey isn't just sitting in the barrel. It's being rocked, and how the movement of the boat will affect how the whiskey sits in the barrel.
Yep.
So it tastes completely different. This one that I have right now, the Voyage 19, it's a bourbon, but it's got Scotch notes. It's got that Islay sort of notes to it, and it's special wheated. I know I'm getting into crazy shit.
No, dude,
that sounds good. Dude, sounds good.
This sounds like alcohol pornography, and I'm really enjoying it.
I kind of want to do whiskey reviews on my show too.
You should, dude. That was awesome.
Or something, you know.
Dude, this idea of like the ocean, like fucking stirring and creating the vibe of this.
There's another one. There's another one I got. You know how they say the reason New York pizza and New York bagels taste so great is because of the New York water? Mm-hmm. Well, and it's because it's got limestone in it, right? Like it's just that it has limestone in the water. There's this whiskey called Widow Jane that they take the base bourbon and they add the limestone water to it, and then they let it chill out. And they're in Brooklyn, and that tastes different just because of the water they use. Mm-hmm. It's a trip.
Yeah,
such a trip.
Yeah. Do you like a sweeter note as well? Because I'll drink both. No?
A sweetener? No. You mean like a mixer?
No. I don't put anything in whiskeys to be drunk neat, like no ice, no nothing.
I do ice. I do ice because I feel like it opens up things that aren't there when it's neat. I'll try it neat, but the ice does things.
This is going to go. We're going down a rabbit hole now. Have you got a round whiskey glass?
I do.
Right. So once you just pour a neat one and hold it in cup your hand and hold the glass, you'll find that actually just warming it up as well will release different types of flavors that you wouldn't necessarily expect from just a neat whiskey as well. Same with putting ice in. Also, have you ever tried crystallized ginger?
Yes.
Get that in your gob, chew on that, then take a dram.
Yeah.
The explosion.
Hold on. Take a dram.
A dram. It's like
a dram. That's a pour of whiskey.
Yeah, it's like a shot.
Oh, nice. No, well, you know, we want to educate. You know, that's why we're here. We want to educate.
All this whiskey talk. I don't have a glass, so I'm doing it rockstar style. I'm like,
that's fine, dude. We actually prefer it rockstar style here on Midday Repartee.
Oh, see, that's what I don't. That's one thing that I'd love to get my hands on, which we don't have over here. The glass has got a handle on it. That's just fucking genius. That to me, that's a jug. That's not a glass. That's not a bottle. That's a jug.
This helps when you're shitty because you don't drop it. You know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I feel like there's an obligation almost because the reason I wanted to do the show was just give people some tips for coming into ComicsGate, like coming in clean, coming in with style, winning the crowd over. If you could give, and maybe this is too much, but if you could give like your top 3 tips for people,
it's not too much.
Coming in, what would you say? Like, this is what you need to do it right.
Be yourself. Build a platform. Build anticipation. Okay.
Big one, dude.
Okay, and I will like an outline. If these are the big bullet points, we're going to have the little sub bullet points. Be yourself. Just be yourself. People can tell if somebody's putting on airs, you know? A lot of what makes people like a book is especially in ComicsGate, is a personality, people that can back. You know, I've had some people come on and I have them talk about their books, and it's like there's this restraint, you know, almost like a book report. Fuck all that, man. You're in a party, man. Just hang out, talk, tell about the most exciting thing that you got going on, which is your book.
Yeah.
The building a platform aspect is so you have a base audience that you can say this is my gang in a way. You know, like I have people that are on my show. We call them the dudes. They hang out in the boombox. We call the chat room the boombox.
Nice.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. So you want to build that. But then the building anticipation aspect of it. When I did Black Flag on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, probably 2.5 months before I even launched the book, I was doing promo videos of drawing the characters, and then those turned into a promo video for the book itself, which then turned into sign up for my mailing list, which then turned into a countdown, which if you were on the mailing list, you got all of the stuff that you would normally see in the countdown like 2 to 3 days early. So you felt sort of cool because you were on this exclusive list, and then you chamber it out. And then once you've built that anticipation, people are waiting for the launch. You then do everything you can to keep yourself energized, and you go out and you the way Ethan described it is he said you're on a political campaign. You're running for office. So you go from city to city, shaking hands, kissing babies, not shaking babies and kissing hands. Don't fucking mix that shit up. But you go out and you go on different channels. You know, like I went on channels. I went on channels that had as few as 30 subscribers, and channels that had as many as 800,000 subscribers. You know, new eyes are new eyes, and people need to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone is a new fan and a new customer, and at the core of all of it, at the core of being yourself, having a platform, and building anticipation, you have to be fan number one. Okay, and that goes. Here we go into the be and do your best aspect. But being yourself requires that you love yourself. If you can't feel good in your own skin, how do you expect anybody? If you don't love yourself, how is anybody else supposed to love you, right? So there's that. And I don't mean to get all like sad and all that shit, but like part of being and doing your best is knowing that you're worthy and loving yourself. So being yourself just comes from saying, I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with being me. I'm confident with being me. And if someone wants to attack me for being me, they're wrong. You know?
And you're just dropping this kind of matter-of-factly, but this is no small matter.
Yeah.
Like getting to that place with yourself is this can be a lifelong wrestle for 100%. A lot of people, all of us, man.
Yeah.
So that's this is a big one. Yeah. I really appreciate you speaking
no problem,
to that,
man.
Dude.
Number 2, the build a platform. This is where I go back to building fans. When you build a platform, you know, I talk to different guys. I talk to Ethan, Star Wars Girl, a few other people that have successful channels, and I asked them, like, how did you build your channel? And, you know, Ethan gave me his method, which works at 100% for him. Anna told me hers, which works 100% for her. Same with heel versus babyface.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Az, dude.
Yeah,
it's been so fun watching you
I love
connect
him.
with Az and doing that show.
I love him so much. That guy,
dude, that guy
I
is
swear
great.
he's like, I don't know. We can't if we were aliens, we were like fucking literally like neighbors. Like I fucking
could almost
love
see
him.
that. I kind
I
of get
love
that,
him
dude.
so
I see
much.
the connection, dude.
Yeah, I love that so much. But you basically have to think about what if you want to be genuine about something. I heard this about stocks. Like, how do I know what stocks to buy? Buy what interests you, right? They say that. If you're going to make a YouTube channel, you could definitely go and chase the things that you think need to be chased. You know, you can do a copycat channel of someone else, and or do an EFAP channel where you're just basically a channel that's based off of other people's content and that sort of thing. But if that's not for you, you got to find what makes you happy. And like for me, I love experimenting with art supplies. I love, like when I first learned, my buddy Scotty Young, you know, he did the Oz Tales and did Rocket Raccoon and I Hate Fairy Tales, or he does this stuff with a brush pen, and he was the first guy I saw kind of change up his style with a brush pen, and we had these conversations. Same with my buddy Eric Canetti. I asked him about what he was doing because there was this crazy sort of Bill Watterson line quality, and I tried the brushes they recommended, and they just didn't work for me. So I went crazy, dude. I went and bought like 10 different brush pens, and I put myself through the paces, and I found the ones that I liked, and I found the ink that I liked, and that process I found enjoyable. And then I also realized how invaluable it was, as far as like I can pass this along. That interests me, so I'm going to make a show about that, right?
Yeah.
Or types of paper or processes, or for example, like I keep looking over here because I got this. I can turn my thing. I got this whole. See these stacks right here?
Yeah.
Those are old comics interview magazines, right? Comics Interview, Comic Scene, Comic Journal, Comic Review, and Amazing Heroes, all from like the 80s, early 80s, mid 80s. So there are tons of like on the spot interviews. And when I say on the spot, this is something that I had talked to your boy Zach about, and why these excited me. And he was like, exactly. My favorite comic of all time is Dark Knight, right? I bought it when it came out. And of course, we know that it's considered one of the greatest of all times by a lot of people. And when you read about it, there's this reverence. It changed the world. It changed the landscape, this, that, and the other. And whenever you get interviews with Frank Miller, he's talking to it from the place of a man who changed the world and changed the landscape, right?
Yeah.
But having interviews from 1984 and 1985, when he was in the process of making it, and hear him be wishy-washy about ideas. Am I going to put Superman in it? Am I not? Is it going to be 3 issues? Is it going to be 4? I hope people like it. Like all of this sort of like stuff. You go, oh my God, this is fucking real.
Yeah.
Right? It's not this, it's the greatest of all times and it's always, no, this guy was insecure about his idea, you know, and that's the stuff I find interesting, and I want to make videos about that. So again, if you're fan number one, when you build your platform around what you're a fan of. And as far as building anticipation, think about the stuff you're a fan of. When I work on Black Flag, I am fan number one. I am drawing what I want to see. I'm making a comic book that I want to read. And when I build the anticipation, I'm doing it in a way that gets me the most excited.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you go back to loving yourself, and then if you respect yourself, you know what you like. There are other people out there that come from your planet. Go talk to them, you know?
Yes. We got a question here from comic book Black Belt. Russ is has your connection to CG had any effect on work from other industries?
It hasn't. In fact, I just did corrections on storyboard pitch with
Nice.
a director that I've worked with now for 16 years. In fact, I did a job for DC, like, you know, a good 3 weeks after I declared ComicsGate. the only thing that CG, my being vocal and you know, saying hi CG and you know, I am CG, the only thing that it's affected, and this is something I said I'd come back to, so this is a perfect opportunity for that, is imagine meeting a genie and you go, oh my God, a genie, and he goes, I am going to grant you something, but it's not a wish. You have a choice to take it or not. And it's one of those things, like, if someone asked me, would you like the ability to read people's minds? Part of me would say yes, but the bigger part of me would say no, because I like the delusion that maybe my wife thinks I'm the greatest, you know, like, you know, that sort of thing. I don't want to ever hear like, fuck that fool, you know, like, you never want to hear that.
And I can't imagine, dude, and the thing is, the way most, like, a lot of our brains work, it's like, most of what we are just pushing out all the time, like this constant dialogue, is absolute bullshit. If someone could hear that, they would get the complete wrong impression about everything.
Right. Or, oh man, I didn't know my wife hated that song so much, and every time I turn it on, you know, like, but the wish this genie would say is this one. Would you like to know where you stand in your industry? Without any question, who is your friend and who isn't? Would you like to know?
Ooh.
And I said yes. And what happened is, guys that I've known since I was 14 years old said, I'm not talking to you anymore. I get unfriended by people that I've had dinners with over the past 20 years. And they know who I am. I get phone calls from people saying, don't run my shit. I get wives of friends going, how dare he, and unfriending me. So there's all of that. But then I also get people, like some texts I got today. I'm not naming names, but I got texts today saying, man, I saw your channel got tanked. Keep fighting the good fight, man. I'm fucking proud of you. Like, they're not ComicsGate, but they're still out there paying attention, and they show love, you know? So you actually, like, that's what I got out of joining CG is kind of going, oh wow, like, as it turns out, I've been loving you for the past, you know, 20 years, but I just found out if I was on fire, you wouldn't piss on me. Thank you. Thank you for doing me that favor.
Oh man.
No, but
it's a purification, man.
It is. I feel like
you're constantly going through this purification process, and YouTube, it's, you know, in a bigger, there's like microcosms and there's big picture. You know, your thing with the channel, you know, it's like this, it's all purification, and you're heading toward this kind of the purest absolute form of FragaBOOM that can possibly exist.
I'm trying.
And the thing that we know about you is that you're never going to stop
doing
it. You're never going to stop fighting for that, dude. That's what we love about you, man.
You can't, man. There's no way. You can't. Yeah, you cannot stop. That's the thing. It's like there's I forget the guy's name, but he was like the master violinist, and he's like 93 years old, and he's being interviewed. He's like, I need to stop for you know, an hour. I need to go practice. And she's like, wait a second, you're this man. You're the world's greatest violinist. Why are you going to practice? Because eventually I'll be good enough.
Yeah,
you know, I literally, I feel that way. Like I talked earlier about Tony Robbins, right? And he has this acronym, which is CANI, CANI, right? Constant and never, no, CANEI, constant and never ending improvement. And what that means is, if, let's put it, like, quantify it. Let's say you're a runner, right? And you're used to running a mile every day. Tomorrow, do a mile and a foot, but never ever do less than a mile and a foot. You can do the same, because people have bad days, but don't ever do less, right? Always try to do more. Always push. And there's plenty of people, like, I call it, again, I'm not going to name names, but you guys who are fans of comics, I'm sure there's a lot of artists out there that you may be fans of, that you can grab something of theirs from 2005 and grab something of theirs from 2020, and there is no difference. Back at you, Vinny. there's no difference between the thing. And what I call that, going back to the food analogies, I call it McDonald's-itis, right? Like McDonald's got to a point where they went, here's a burger. We don't ever have to change it. People will buy this burger. We don't have to make it better. We can just make this burger forever. And that's that. I never want to get to that place. Like, I never want to have a formula. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but there's dangers in that too, right? Like, for example, there's that phrase, whether it's a band or an artist, where you go, I like their old stuff better, right?
Right.
You know, I call it sweet spot. Like, there's a bunch of guys I'm fans of art-wise where I go, this guy, 86 to 89, this guy, 92 to 94, this guy, you know. Then there's some where I'm like, this guy didn't stop, you know. There's that sweet spot, and for some people, it's either they fell off or they went a different direction. I'll name a name on this one. For example, my friend Stephen Platt. Platt, my favorite years of his were Moon Knight and Prophet, right? Like 94 to 96. And then I did like his Soul Saga work, but he started all the things I loved about his work, the sort of weird Sam Keith, McFarlane, Liberatori, you know, Simon Beasley sort of mashup with the juice turned up. I'm like, I love it. It's so funky, you know. It's like, it's great. And then the funky, it's almost, do you know Japanese rock, like Dream Theater?
I'm not that familiar.
Okay.
No,
or prog rock, like Rush.
Yeah.
Okay, like there's some bands that when you listen to them, they kind of slide off each other, but they're in a pocket, right? So you get this sort of elastic thing that makes you kind of like move, because it's like they're slightly off timing, but there's this sort of rubbery feeling from the off timingness. Yeah. Japanese rock and a lot of prog rock is so on the grid. It's like, it's perfect notes, perfect timing, and it becomes sort of this sanitized thing. Like, it's so clean, and like it's not edgy or funky anymore. I feel like with Steven's stuff, he basically polished off all of his edges to be a quote unquote better artist. The anatomy's better drawn, the rendering is more accurate, the lighting's more accurate, the figures are more solid technically, but it ain't funky anymore, you know?
Right.
So I can see the danger of trying to be better. I always say, for my own instance, a better me is a amplified version.
Yeah,
that's it. Just amplified.
Yeah, I can get with that. Are you? Have you ever come in contact with the Blue Muppet, the Blue Caesar?
Oh, George?
Are you familiar?
Are you talking about George?
I am.
Yeah, I have. He's been on my show. Yeah. Oh, what's up, George?
What the hell kind of opening is that?
It's a exploding pineapple. Man, if you can send me, please
I will send you that.
Please send me all that
okay,
that
we'll do that. And we gotta. I'm sensing another shift in perception. I gotta tell you. It happened again.
Vinny's in the house.
We got Vinny. We got Vinny up in here.
It's time to drink. It's time to drink.
It's time to drink. George, how are you doing? Man, I always love it when you show up.
God, how do you follow up with an exploding pineapple?
You don't. That's kind of my point. It was like, how can I silence all my guests that come on and they just, will be subservient after that. And this is what I came up with.
Okay, well, long-time caller, a long-time listener, first-time caller. How are you? How's the panel? Fraga,
yes, sir.
A couple of questions. Tell me about your father, man. Tell me about his military service. And the second is, what technical stuff that you've learned that you told me, you said briefly that you worked in film, doing Ruby Lith, doing all the technical stuff. How has that helped you with your work to be who you are?
All right, going back to your first question, my dad was in the Air Force. He worked in communications. He took all of the things he learned from communications and moved on into the professional world, doing things like fixing all of the telecommunications for the county, Contra Costa County, where he lives. So police radios in their cars, the communication system, all the towers you see, he'd fix those. He also set up all the security as far as electronics in the prisons and in the courtroom. So he's basically a hardware systems expert. He knows how to get into and fix hardware and set up system hardware. So that's what my dad does. And as far as what I did,
hold it. And he's 103.
No, he's not quite 103. He's only 30 years older than me, so he's 104. No, he's 70. He's 77. My dad's 77.
77. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, and going back to the old school, this is another great question. I feel lucky, and I feel like this has helped me understand processes in a way, because I feel like I was able to straddle two sides of the old and the new. If I was to use transportation as an example, I knew what it took to feed a horse, to make a buggy work, how to change a buggy wheel, all of that shit. And then I went and worked in automotive. So what I learned in print, I learned how to do letraset lettering. I learned how to do Ruby Lith. I learned how to do full-on color separation. I know how to shoot film. I know how to do liquid film corrections. I know how to do the Oslid blue line, that ammonia blue lines for proofs for a client. And I know about the separation process from a 1991 and prior, going back to the 50s. I know about that process for graphic art.
Yeah.
I was also there at the very beginning of digital prepress, which was on a Macintosh. We did a fanzine back in '89, where we built the whole thing on a Macintosh. We printed it at a printer with standard film. I worked in a place that did flexographic and did web press and the old plated press. So there's that understanding of things, but also when I started at Extreme, we had Photoshop 1, and Extreme Studios was also one of the very first pioneers in computer coloring. Originally, we had a place called Digital Chameleon doing our separations. There was also Ollie Optics, but they started Extreme Color with Photoshop version 1. This is before they had history. Believe it or not, there was no history. There was one undo, right? You couldn't go back in history, so you had to do it right.
Yeah, no layers. You had to bring
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so that I feel very fortunate to kind of have been in the old and have been introduced to the new. I feel like one of the reasons I'm more prolific now as hold on, my wife is asking me a question.
Priorities, people. Priorities. Yeah. Gotta have them.
The reason I feel like I can be more prolific now as a creator, and I use this example. You ever hear your imagination exceeds your reach, or your ambition exceeds your reach?
Yeah.
Well, back in 2003, when I first broke into storyboarding, one of the things I wanted to do was to direct, and all of the directors I worked with that were teaching me and letting me come to set and learn things were saying, you need to buy a Panasonic DVX, which is like this digital camera that records on tape, and you need to learn lighting, and you need to learn After Effects, and you need to learn, Avid. This is still, it's digital, but it's not It's not where you want to be. And like, for example, back then, I'll use this green screen as an example. Back in 2003, when I was like super rabid to start filming video, let's say you did something green screen, you would have to light it, shoot it, digitize it from tape to your laptop, import it into After Effects, do a comp, render that comp, and see if your footage worked. Okay? That's hours, okay? Just to see if it worked. And then once you go, okay, that's the formula for it, let's go back and use those settings, then you can shoot and do that. But you're still digitizing, you're still importing, you're still comping, you're still rendering. I can do what I just described right now in 15 seconds with my phone. So I feel like all of my ambitions of 2003 can totally be realized now with my iPhone, which is an exciting thing because it's like you can kind of like have a thought and execute it, versus back then you have a thought, you go through a process to get to that end result.
But it's also it's amazing to have all that knowledge from those early days.
Yes,
you know? It's even with the sped up process, even with the access to the new technology, it's got to be valuable to understand what is going on in the background of all of this. Like I would think there's a value there.
You have to be able to see the end result, right?
Yeah.
And when I do those drawings, and I'm gonna do a whole series on my channel about how I'm able to do that, because it's an acquired skill over the past few years. To be able to see the thing done, right? Like when I did my very first Black Flag promo video, I could close my eyes and play it as if it existed already, right?
Yeah.
And then from that point, I either storyboard it, like if I want to remember it, or you go, okay, I'm going to need an ammo container. I'm going to need ammo. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need to shoot that at 60 frames a second. I'm going to need a tripod here, and you basically take that thing and you turn it into an ingredients list, and then you turn that ingredients list into a schedule, and then you execute it. And then you put those pieces into an editing bay, and you know how all those parts work, and you make sure that what comes out at the end looks like the thing you saw in your head. But at the end of the day, you have to know the thing that you want before you execute it. Otherwise, you're kind of searching,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I'm curious about your storyboarding. Did you?
Yes.
Were you taught the details of getting your message across in storyboarding, which is completely different from comic books, or did you learn it through osmosis?
I learned it from Hard Knocks, man. When I got into storyboards, there was a lot of ebb and flow, right? The first job I did was such a success because I didn't know any better. Like I was hired to do this Reebok commercial because one of the projects I was working on with this musician fell through. He felt bad, and he told his director friend that I was a must hire. I was sort of I'm sorry this didn't work out. I'll make it up to you. Hey, hire my friend because I fucked up, right? So I didn't know what storyboards were other than that they were drawings of a thing that would be a thing. So I drew those storyboards like a comic book. And I'd never seen boards before. And what had happened as a result of drawing them as detailed and fleshed out is people were like, who the fuck is that guy? I need him on my job. So right. I felt pretty awesome, right? Until I did this job. It was an Adidas job. And the Adidas job, I know I have it on my computer. I should probably do a show about this one too. I want to do shows about my jobs, especially because they're old now. I had my producer call me and yell at me. I thought I had done such a good job. Everything was so well drawn. And he said, you fucking idiot. He goes, have you never watched a game of soccer in your life? And I'm like, not really. He's like, your boards make no fucking sense. And I said, why? It's like that. It's in the script. This guy kicks to this guy. This guy kicks to this guy. He goes, your geography is shit. You have a guy at this side of the pitch. You got a guy here. There's no way he can kick that far. And like he kind of got into my mind the idea of space, right? Not just pictures, because that's what I was doing before. Pictures in succession to tell a story, but not considering the actual 3D space of the situation.
Right.
So if a guy kicks to this guy here, and that guy's in the background, and in this shot, this guy should be here, and if you move over here, that same guy should be over here. And if this line is here, this line, it's continuity, right? Like geographic continuity. That changed my life. That producer yelling at me and telling me I was an idiot changed my life. I made it a concerted effort to really create these virtual spaces when I would work in storyboards. It went from being this flat 2D informational thing to a full on immersion. I'm in the space. I'm not just seeing the picture. I'm also able to go, if this person was here and I'm here and that person walks down the stairs, if I turn here, all of this shit happened off camera. So by time wise, these things would happen. I'm literally creating virtual happenings in my head. And that was a result of storyboarding.
How quickly did you recover from that? When you said you did it poorly, how quickly did you recover and get your ass in gear and actually come back to giving him what he wanted?
Well, I had to do it that afternoon. But with his assistance, we talked through it. We talked through it. But as far as making it, sort of second nature, like where you just do it to do it, that took a long time. Took a long time. But that particular job was we had to walk through it, and like we do this thing called chicken feet, right? Yeah. And chicken feet is where you get a topographical view, and it's almost like a football, like a football, soccer, but American football. When you see a play and you see the line go like this, we call it chicken feet because the camera looks like chicken feet. We go, camera A is here. If this guy moves to here and camera B is here, then this would show this through this angle. So we did this sort of chicken feet thing, and that's how we got through that. Because deadlines, I was just on howtodrawcomics.net, Clayton Barton and Replicator Rob, and they had Rob Willis and I were on there, and I had to draw a picture, and they're like, "How are you so fast?" And I said, when you do storyboards, you have no choice. Mm-hmm. You literally have no choice. And the reason for that is that in a comic, you go, hey, the inker is waiting on me, or if you ink your own work, the letterer is working on me. If you letter your own work, the colorist. If you color your own shit, you can kind of be like, I take my time and do whatever. When it comes to doing stuff like storyboards for production, there is a crew of people that are going on a scout, and they're going to use your boards to find out if they can get those angles, and if they can, they're going to be using those boards to order equipment for those lenses and those lights, and the producer is going to be budgeting it out, and without your boards, you fuck all of them, and then you fuck their schedule, and then this house of cards falls. So if you're not on time, you're actually costing money. You're not just fucking up, you're costing money. And if you're costing money, you don't get hired again. So you have to be fast.
Yeah, I've done some storyboard work as well, and it's you don't have time. It's no one's waiting on you. If you can't do it, they'll hire someone else. It's
That's
just
right.
So you have to learn on the fly. You have to bust your ass. You got to move as quickly as you can, and listen to any notes that they give you. Mm-hmm. There's no time to cry or anything. If you got a drink, you just do what Dan did. You drink, get it done.
Take the swig. Amen. I'm loving this idea. This idea that you kind of got, like, this guy told you, like, it has to be a 3-dimensional space. Now, did this forever change the way you draw your comic book? Like the way you conceptualize?
100%. 100%. Yeah. And the Kim Jong-gi thing, the ability to kind of draw without layouts. That's not how I draw my comics. I actually do that as an exercise to keep that edge of my sword sharp. You know, I can do it, and if I have to be that fast, that's right. You keep your blade sharp. The very first time I saw Kim Jung-gi's artwork was in it was October of 2012, and I'd seen this video, and I was like, nah, come on. There's got to be like super light pencil under there. There's no way that guy's doing that. You know, like that was my first reaction. And then I watched some more. And then I found out that he had a sketchbook for sale. And I like went through every process I could to get a hold of his sketchbooks, the 2007 and the 2012 sketchbook. I went, this guy's a fucking mutant. And I got really discouraged for probably a good week or two. And I did what I always do, which is something I suggest everybody do, is say, why can't I? What is it in this thing that I don't understand, and why can't I? And I wrote myself a list. I said, I can't draw a car engine like him because I have no idea what a car engine looks like without looking at one. That means I need to change my process of observation. So now when I look at things, I'm collecting information like a computer. Okay. And I need to give myself a set of rules for when I observed something, what is a way for me to remember it? Number two, I can't hold an image in my head for that long. You know, I'd get these sort of fleeting blips of inspiration. It looks like, feels like, and it's gone, like vapor.
Right.
You know? Why is that? What can I do? What can I do to make my visual process be more like that, what I was talking about, that 3D immersion space? Because I'd see it and I'd write it down in word form, what I saw. That was the way I was doing it. I'd write these things called beat sheets, right? And like, oh, low angle, right angle, this person's in the back. Like I would write it in words because I couldn't hold it in my head.
Nice.
So it would be, I can't hold an image in my head long enough. Then the other one was what I see and what comes out of my hand a lot of times are maligned. You know, you get that like when people draw portraits and it's kind of slid or looks weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then bonus point, we all face this. I hear it. It's probably one of the most common things you ever hear. It's called being married to the results. Right? People put so much pressure on themselves. Like, I can't start a sketchbook because if I'd paid the sketchbooks, guys, you know, like we'll go through these one at a time. So I created a set of rules to observe things in it where I start asking questions. I work from big to small. Where are the big things in relationships to the little things? How do the little things connect? Where are they relate, you know, in proportional relationship to one another? What are the textures? How do textures convey depth? These are things that I'm asking when I'm taking sort of mental snapshots of things. The hardest one was how to create more resonant visuals in your own mind. I remembered reading this book by this guy named Dr. Win Wenger. You guys definitely write this down. Dr. Win Wenger, W-I-N.
Win Wenger.
Yeah,
Okay.
W-E, like Wenger, you know, W-E-N-G-E-R, Dr. Win Wenger. And if you go to winwenger.com, all of this information is on there for free. So you don't even have to buy this book. But I recommend this book. It's called The Einstein Factor. It's about how to hack your brain into learning more, right?
Yeah. Does it look anything like this?
Please tell me that was your cat. That was the most amazing kung fu video.
When I think about hacking my brain, that's what I think of.
Yeah. So that was beautiful. Dr. Win Wenger, one of the things that I remembered about this book, and it was what made me go and say, hey, wait a second, maybe it's this. He was talking about how we can't create, what up, Zaid? How you can't create more neurons in your brain. So if you think of neurons as cities, You can't create more cities, but what you can create are axons and dendrites. You can make more axons and dendrites. Axons and dendrites are the connections. Think of them as freeways and off-ramps, right? You can create more of those. And that's how habits are formed, right? You can create more of those because your brain does this thing. The more you think about something, the more it thinks about that thing. And the more you do something, the better it gets at that thing. That's the idea of practice. And he talks about axons and dendrites and neurons and such. And I remember this thing in there called image streaming, which is this sort of active daydreaming and writing it down and all this stuff. But it's supposed to be to kind of pull these subconscious, in his book, it's to pull these subconscious ideas out into the open. What I found was that by the act of closing your eyes and visualizing and verbalizing it, playing it back like a movie, listening to it again, playing it in your head, and then listening to it again and writing it down, you're literally telling your brain, visualizing is good, do more of this, do it better. And the more you do it, the more those images they'll be more vivid, they will stay longer. So I found like, oh shit, after even just 2 weeks of doing that, I found that I was able to run these full-featured movies. I can create these things in my mind and have them play. Or I could write a whole paper in my head. Like if I had to write like an article, I'd go, okay, I'm going to start with this. That goes to this. That goes to this. I saw it in my head as if it was already done. And I remember this section talked about this. And I was like, okay, it helps with this. It helps with visualization. And this is a great tool, right?
Yeah.
The third one regarding being able to create a calibration between what you see and what your hand does, I stole from a book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. And there's a thing called blind contour drawing. And she stole it from Nicoletti Natural Way to Draw. And what it is, and it's like technical terms because Nicoletti was old school and he didn't have a computer. But like, do you guys remember the old Intuos? Before they had Wacom's, they had the little tablet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you would color, your hand would be here, but the cursor would be up here, right?
Yeah,
so as you move your hand, right, and you would be able to color and draw because you created this sort of like connection between your eye and your hand. So blind contour drawing, what I would do is, let's say I put this piece of paper over here, and I'm looking at my model or whatever it is I'm looking at out here. And I would pretend my eye was a cursor and my hand was the stylus. And I would just go along and I would do that for a half hour each day. And you go and look at your paper and it looked crazy. It would look like some crazy Picasso drawing. But what I found was that along with being able to visualize things clearer and calibrating my brain to do this, access my mind's eye. And as I'm going, I'm essentially tracing the thing that I see in my head.
You know, that's amazing that you say that. The old Disney artists, they actually a lot of them would learn how to draw blindfolded. You should see some of their artwork drawn blindfold. It's better than my art. You know.
You know, it's another good thing too. I used to do it sometimes when I get blocked. I would draw with my other hand.
I do that all the time.
Yes, me too.
I think it's kind of good practice as well. And if you get frustrated there, when you go switch back to the other hand, it's like you're like Leonardo da Vinci.
You feel so stilted when you're over here. You're trying to do things, and you're in your head, and you're just trying to get that hand to cooperate. When you go over here, it's like those baseball players that put weights on the bat before they go to bat.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's like this 10-pound bat now becomes, a 5-pound bat, and it's easier to swing.
Mm-hmm. I got two more questions.
Yes.
One is I ditched the pencil back in 1990, and I either drew by pen only or drew everything exclusively on the computer, vector all the way, no Photoshop, nothing like that.
Okay.
But when I heard you talking about that Asian fellow who draws like that, and I see what you're drawing now, I have two questions. One is, when did you ditch the pen and just draw directly without the pencil? Because your artwork now compared to your artwork later, in the past, people say your old art is good. No, your new art is fucking amazing. But the second is, when did you learn shapes? When did you learn to see shapes in the stuff that you're drawing? Because when I compare the stuff that you do now compared to the books that you had in the past, which I have a few somewhere in my stacks in the past.
They're in your bird cage at the bottom, aren't they?
No.
Yeah.
Stefan! Unite!
Wow, that's a deep voiced woman.
Welcome back, Rot.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, Dan, you outlived my bladder's ability to not have to go to the bathroom. So I had to relieve myself.
Salute your bladder.
Keep telling him he needs to get himself a streaming jug.
Yeah, I got to get that jug, man. You were right.
Yeah. So when did you see shapes and actually start to incorporate them in your artwork? Because right now in your artwork now, I can see the shapes. I can see all the structure in the head, the eye to chin, eye to to top of head relation, and all that stuff. And your stuff that you did in comic books back then, a lot of it was more style over structure. Now you're more structure, and you're including a hell of a lot of style.
Thank you. That's an incredible observation, George. The one thing that I found.
I live the same life you have, sir. Exactly.
What's up, Dave? How are you, man?
Dave.
Technically,
all right. How's it going?
Yeah, George. I think one of the things that happens when you're just going on your journey is when things happen naturally, you don't think about them. And I remember when I used to teach a layout class about 20 years ago, and when I would get questions, I learned more because I had to think about the reasoning behind stuff. I think when I started thinking about that discussion on that Adidas commercial in 3D forms and being kind of perplexed by Jung Yi, when I realized they were related, which was sometime in 2013 or so, I started thinking of things as existing in a space versus being lines on paper. If that does that make sense?
Yeah. Go on.
So I used the Bruce Lee quote from Enter the Dragon. Here's another reference to Enter the Dragon when he says, "It's like a finger pointing away to the moon," and then he slaps the kid in Lao and he says, "Don't concentrate on the finger or you'll miss all the heavenly glory." What I realized and what I poured it over for when it comes to making pictures is that when you're concentrating on the finger or the end of the pencil or pen, you are thinking about the line. When you're focused on the heavenly glory, the tool in which you're doing it is inconsequential. You're actually just making the glory. You're making the thing.
Right.
And that thing exists in a virtual space. It exists in the ether, and it is your job to pull it out. But the end of the pen is no longer the battle. The battle is pulling the thing out of the ether.
Right.
Does that sound crazy?
No, it makes sense.
I fucking love this.
It totally makes sense. I love it. Use Bruce Lee quotes.
What do you got there?
But
It's got Enter the Dragon.
Hold on, show that again.
I don't have that version, man. That's beautiful.
Oh, sick. Yeah,
Blu-ray
that's
still
really cool.
Really cool.
That's killer. Well, that's why anytime you get caught up on something, it's better to go loose and fast. Loose and fast. It's like working out a math problem or something. You know, if you're getting too much in your own head, and like you said, you're focusing too much on the lines and not the big picture of what you're doing, grab your sketchbook and just mess around. Try to work it out like that, but do it fast and quick, and you'll get it. You'll nail it.
Yeah, analysis equals paralysis is the fast way of saying that.
Yeah,
Nice.
For sure.
That's a nice phrase. Gentlemen, I'm going to have to duck out, but I do want to say one of the things I used to love when I was doing more fine art based stuff at colleges and universities is charcoal and drawing with your fucking feet. Like that is a game and a half to play. I love doing that sort of shit. Yeah. When I studied life drawing, the first thing they did was come on then, get your hand going. Get on with your hand. Then once you finish with your right hand, use your left hand, and then get your shoes and socks off. Draw with your right foot, then your left foot, and then you can go back to using your normal hand. And that was a half-hour warm-up that we did every time we do a 2-hour sitting.
Doing it.
Jeez.
I got a box of golf pencils. I have a box of golf pencils.
This is why we don't listen to Scotland about anything.
I'm doing that.
Well, actually, you know what? Actually, if you think about it, right, if you're standing up and you're doing a figure drawing with your feet, your actual perspective is when you're looking down at the piece of paper. If you're walking on top of the paper, it's exactly the same perspective as you would have looking at the thing in the first place. Because your angle of sight is the same thing, and you can move up and down the paper.
Okay. Fucking Fraga. Right. The next fucking video we want to see from you is a foot portrait.
Drawing.
I want to see a foot portrait, man.
Right.
It's got to be big paper, though. It's got to be big paper, though, because I'm noticing, like, right now, if I was to hold something between my toes, like, it's big. It's not little.
Yeah.
It's big.
We used to use like wall lining paper. You know, the stuff you put down before you put wallpaper up. Just get big rolls of that stuff because it's shit cheap.
Yeah. I'll do that.
On that bombshell,
Before you go, Captain Fuckhead, anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I do. Tonight, later on Comic Mark's channel, we are having a how do we say it? A not Daredevil bit of fun and games, I believe. So we launched his mailing list for Not Daredevil last night on Grady Point 5.
Yes!
So we're having some fun. 10 p.m. GMT, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure if there's anything I need to throw out for me for next week on my channel, because I may have a week off just to chill for a week and calm down, because this week's been a bit hectic both in RL and on YouTube. Dan, you mentioned earlier on about coming on your show. I would like you to extend an invite to come on my Thursday show. The best way of putting it is it's all about you, not just your books.
What time?
It's 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. This. You don't need to know what time is it
5.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. Just drop me a little DM, because I know yours are closed, mine are wide open, and I can let you know.
How do I open mine? I want people to be able to reach
There's settings
out
on Twitter where you can do it, but I wouldn't know. My settings are exactly the same as they were when I opened the account. Because I can't be asked going into that.
You know, Dan, like you opening your DMs is
it dangerous?
Well, I think for someone like you, you'd be flooded with so much nonsense.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just follow each other on Twitter. It would be much better.
Once you follow each other, then you can DM each other.
Oh, okay.
Make those choices. I would recommend that you choose that. Yeah.
I was looking through them earlier. Anyway, right, yeah, just if I can DM you, I will. Otherwise, just drop me one, and then we're in contact, and we can sort something out. But I have to run because I need to go and spend some time with Mrs. F before I have to spend time with my YouTube boyfriend later on this evening.
Who's your YouTube?
Gold. That would be Mr. Commie Mark, Mr. FragaBOOM.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah.
Weirdo that he is.
We
all do.
Yeah, Captain Channel's awesome. I was on there as well. Great interview, great time. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's a good time. We had Archie Bear on last night, and the 90-minute show went on for 3 hours.
That's awesome. Art is great. He is fantastic.
Yeah, I
love that legend, man. Yeah,
love that man to bits. He even came on, and one of the first words out of his mouth was "fuck," and he was like, "Yes, I can say it. My wife's not here." Right, I am disappearing. You've got Bristolian Dave to hold up the CG UK angle, gentlemen.
Bristolian Dave,
bid you adieu.
Have a great one, man.
All right, man. I'm finding you.
Listen, I got a question.
He's late to show up and early to leave. You see how Captain Fuckhead is.
I got a question for both Vinny and Fraga. Vinny, your art is very, very technical in your execution. All the lines. are just look polished. Well, Dan's lines are technical and execution. They have different characteristic sets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious. How did you get to this style? I mean, you could have been like John Byrne. You could because you worked with McFarlane, and his influence is huge on a lot of artists who worked with him.
Yeah.
How were you able to maintain your sanity instead of being kind of molding and shaping your work towards what you see around you? Primarily Todd, where he's done his line work is not anywhere near the characteristic work that you have.
Right. Well,
and Fraga, the same thing. I mean, you two were in the company of these guys, these huge guys. McFarlane, was it Layfield, Jim Lee, and all that stuff. It's kind of hard to not start working and drawing in those guys' footsteps, so to speak. Because the reason why I say this is because when Neil Adams has his studio, a lot of them just all of a sudden they just hit that commercial art Neil Adams look. It's
dude, I'm guilty of that. You my early stuff. A lot of people would say bad Liefeld clone. So I don't know. I mean, I initially got around it by leaving. You know?
Well, yeah. First, I got to say, George, thanks for the compliments as well on the work. But what I brought to the table with Todd, and the one thing I liked about him is he was never trying to force his style. He never ever tried to force his style on artists who were working for him. When I was there, he liked what I brought to the table. But the thing was, I was only doing pencil work back then, and coming straight out of high school when I got hired, he really enjoyed what I was doing. My samples that I sent them they were crazy, man. I had I had Spider-Man drawings, I had video game stuff, I had some portrait work here and there. But there's something that they really enjoyed about what I was doing. So when Todd, he was stepping in a bit, I never really got those kind of those critiques of that he wants his specific style on anything. But I was designing the toys. I wasn't doing his comics, so maybe the situation would have been a little bit different. But even back then, my work was a lot different than it is today. I had a whole lot more. I had influences of Mark Silvestri in my work as well. There's a lot of different things, but over the years it evolved, especially after Quesada screwed me out of getting the Spider-Man job. That's when I decided to teach myself how to computer color. And from that point, I kept diving deeper and deeper into art. I mean, Frank Frazetta was one of my first influences. So I always liked that kind of almost oil painted kind of style, but I still love a lot of line work. So I kind of merged.
Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Hold on.
I have all of his original art books, the first editions.
Now that's what I find interesting about this book is the choice to put his photo on it rather than a piece of his work.
It's written by his son.
That's interesting. It's fascinating. I like it.
On there.
I like it. Yeah, dude, it's like a tribute.
The fascinating of Frank Frazetta, sorry, Vinny, I'll just add this before you continue, Vinny, is the fascinating thing about Frank Frazetta is that there's two lives to Frank Frazetta. Mm-hmm. One hand, and then when he had a stroke, the other hand.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
It is amazing, but on top of that too, they said a lot of that was caused, they said, because of the paints he was using. Those fumes were really messing with him bad. On top of the regular stresses and stuff. Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know at the time. And that's the other crazy thing, right, man? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, your tools are going to be betraying you in some form, right? But
it's happening to my wife right now.
Oh,
she makes these tumblers for Etsy. In fact, I have one right here. She makes these, right? This is one that she made. It's the Black Flag tumbler.
Wow,
and you can see awesome. That there's it's covered in this epoxy.
Yeah.
It's called exposure allergy. right? And right now, both her eyes and her hands are all agitated and cracked after doing it for a couple of years.
Oh.
Like you're absolutely right. It's like, and it happened to Bernie Wrightson too. He got infections in his fingers from the nickel that was used at the end of brushes. And it wasn't until his wife started putting clear fingernail polish on it to kind of cover it that he could go back to inking again.
What's that? What's the link to your wife's Etsy page?
Oh shit!
Do you know it?
I can look it up.
I'd like to get that out. I'd like to get that out.
Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta look it up. Ill prepared.
No, dude. You're not ill prepared for anything.
Okay,
FragaBOOM. Hold on. I'm sensing perception shift happen. Scotsman TV.
Oh my god. What's up, everybody?
Dan, I want to
put it in the private chat.
Okay, cool. Dude, we've been going 2 hours. You've been so fucking generous just being here, man. If you got to get going, if you have shit to do,
I'm good.
Seriously,
I'm good to go. You've been cool. I love questions, man, because like I said earlier, questions, they make me think. You know?
I've been in, dude, this has been a fascinating stream. I fucking loved every second of it. I'm just like, anytime, dude, you got to peace out, you got to drop out, just let me know. Just
Appreciate
go.
It,
you got it's no worries, man.
Appreciate that.
So I'm going to get your, this link out to, how should I label it?
I don't know. My wife. On my description, I just say Mrs. Fraga's Crafty Crafts, but she makes everything, man. She could put anything on these tumblers. This is the big one, right? This is like I don't know if it's 32 ounces or something, but she makes like 20 ounces, 18 ounces. She makes a Black Flag one that I sign everyone. She comes down here. You need to sign this.
How about you put it out as a FragaBOOM merchandise?
Oh, dude, why couldn't I posted it already? I like that. That was good.
Yeah,
dude. Dan, take
of
note of that.
My wife is a hottie, man. She's pretty.
We got that. We got that link in the chat, dude. And I'm sorry to hear that. Like, there seems to be some kind of pushback of her using the materials.
Well, she's gonna try to use a new one, but she was telling me about it, and then like we share an Amazon account, you know, and I get emails. You have a new order, and I looked, and it was like this fucking gas mask, right? Like these
she's like fucking full hazmat suit.
Yeah, hell no. And I'm like, what are you?
I gotta make
doing?
Crafts, baby.
Yeah, Castle Scotsman don't function.
She's
that
like
way.
fucking
Mom
Darth.
and Daddy, we got different accounts, bro.
Yeah. No, well, I know what you mean, because then you can't surprise anybody or anything like that. But like, no, it's just, you know, I make it's all attached to my bank account. So.
Yeah, I feel you.
Scotsman, man, good to have you in here, dude.
Yeah, man. I saw you guys was live. I'm in the office, so you know I'm a little low key, but you know.
Yeah, man.
He's low key. He's low key up in the office.
Well, see, you know,
this whole like everybody getting back to work, man. It's bumming me out because I used to just be able to hang out all day, and now I'm like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah, well, you know, I gotta do my primary profession to allow me to have the freedom to enjoy my secondary profession. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I haven't really got a chance to talk to Dan since he joined ComicsGate, other than in the chat.
Yeah, man.
You know, back in 97, I was doing some backgrounds for Larry. I met you at his house.
Yeah.
And you're still the same dude you were back then, just a little wiser, man.
Older, less hair, more gray hair.
That's why when people say they don't know about you, they're not sure about you, or whatever, they have questions or whatever, I'm like, man, I was just some ginger background artist, and Dan treated me with just the respect of the same as a peer, man. So
there's no other way to do it.
That's
right.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm just glad you're here. I've been talking to Marlo, man. I've been trying to get him to come over, dude.
He needs to. What's his? I mean, is he's still doing the medical stuff, right?
Yeah, see, the thing is, things got a little weird for him. Like, I don't know, a couple editors that he was tight with, they quit and they moved on. And, like, obviously everything that happened with Extreme, all that stuff. And then him going solo here and there. And then his wife was doing the whole assisted living business. And he got his nursing degree. And, like, family moved to the Philippines, and he's back here in the States, and like he's bummed because he doesn't even have an art table to work at right now. So
where in the States is he?
He's living in like Cerritos area.
Okay, so he went back to Cali. That's not far because he used to live like maybe 4 exits from me, and then when he moved to the Philippines, dude, that guy's. You guys who are not familiar with Marlo, he was a incredible inker at Extreme Studios, also a fantastic artist. But dude, his toy collection.
Oh, he's got a YouTube channel, Marlo the Collector. He's got like 70,000 subs.
What? Does he really? Wow, I gotta subscribe.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But like Marlo, dude, like he's like real introverted and real quiet, you know what I mean? He's not like somebody who's like a big YouTube personality. So like his videos like, hey, it's Marlo, just got this toy, He's like really low key, when he opens up his toys and he does his reviews.
Oh, dude, I'm subscribing to him now. I had no clue.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, when I remember going to his house, we had this sort of
here, I'll turn on the cam. It's a little shitty in my office.
Like a 15 anniversary. This is like 10 years ago at Marlo's house. We had this sort of extreme reunion. Yeah. And we went upstairs to his office, and I was like, dude, this is a toy store. Like he had, this is 10, 15 years ago.
He's a bit of a pack rat.
Yeah.
Like, did he have the original boxes, or did he take them out of the box?
Everything's in the box. He's always a guy who like would go to Frank & Sons, which is like a place where you trade and buy and sell toys and collectibles and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so he always kept everything in pristine condition. He was a collector, and I'd sit at my table, he'd sit at his table, and there's just a mountain of collectibles just everywhere, like strewn out across the floor in some places, just like he had an entire room of just Star Wars stuff. So.
Oh, this is awesome. There he is.
Yeah.
This is great. I gotta leave a comment. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that, man, going into the toy thing again, because I'm still a collector. I still have a lot of shit, but not like him.
Oh,
that's
dude,
insane, dude. What is the channel?
Marlo the Collector.
Yeah.
Marlo the Collector. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. He's my mentor, man. I was his apprentice for fucking 10, 11 years or something like that. All through the late 90s and early 2000s. And like the fact that I'm here doing comics and he isn't pisses me off. Damn. Like it hurts my soul. Cuz he's like one of the most talented inkers. He's got a very fast, very energetic style. He's got a little bit of anime manga feel to it because
he was Platt's other inker at Extreme. Like at Extreme, he inked all the Platt stuff.
Yeah, he gave me a bunch of art. Yeah,
and Larry, I always said, and I mean, I'm partial to Shelby now. Like Shelby is killing it on Black Flag, but like Larry on all of my Marvel work. No knock on Norm, no knock on Marlo, but Larry Stucker was like the jelly to my peanut butter, man. I love working with Larry.
Well, Larry inked with a Gillette, so his lines were really, really really sharp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I have a whole box of those Gillettes still.
Oh, really?
The 850s, yeah. I got those.
See, only a handful of artists use Gillette too, like Scott Williams and Larry.
Yeah,
I can't really think of. I mean, I know Danny did a little bit, but
I use a nib that nobody uses too, which is like I like the deleter, but like my go-to, I have to special order every time. Are you still in Cali?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you?
I live about 15 minutes from Art T Bear.
Oh, okay. So you go to Art Supply Warehouse.
Why I haven't? Yeah.
Westminster.
Yeah.
Their buyer over there is Owen. And every time I go in, I always have to talk to Owen because I use a Hunt's 104.
Really? You don't use the 102?
No, I've never been able to use a 102, and I don't know what it is. But the 104.
Sorry to hijack the stream with Inker.
No.
I'm loving it. I'm like, when you talk about 102 and 104, I get a mild chubby.
Kind of like when I talk about colors.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love the 104. 104. I did all of the Graven 104. I did all of the first Black Flag in 104. I did Berserkers with a 104. Yeah.
Really?
Crazy. Oh yeah. It's because it's short. I can push it way down and get it real short. The problem I was having with especially like the Gelats or the 102s is the further the nib point is away from my hand, the less control I feel like I have. And the 104, I can get so short that my hand is a half a centimeter away from the end.
Oh yeah.
So I can get really detailed and a lot of control that way.
But don't they cake up with a lot of doesn't the Indie ink cake up on the tip?
I use
when
Talon.
They're that short.
Oh, look at that beautiful cat. I use Talon's Indie ink, and I also have. Here's my rig, dude. You're gonna like this when you want to talk ink. This is my bag of surprise supplies. So here's
surprise supplies.
Your wipe rag.
It's my wipe rag.
Wipe and blots.
This is my secret weapon. I get these at Sam's Club. They're alcohol wipes. They're used for medical stuff. This is how I keep and dispense my ink. I use a squeezy top. That way I can go anywhere. I don't have to dip it. I just put a little blob on it. And then
you blob the dip pen?
Yeah, I squeeze in just enough on the end.
That's wild.
On the tip.
And this is every one of these has a different tip on it.
Yeah.
You're like a surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like Dexter.
Yeah.
Just enough on the tip.
Well, that's the thing I've learned, especially when it comes. Look at that. That's Vinny, man. I know.
This is the new pirate book, my
Sweet
friend.
Lord.
Wait a second.
Is this a first time seeing this?
Yes, it is. Well,
holy!
I've seen it.
He saw some of it, but I finally finished coloring this page. But I had to show you that panel.
I'm gonna have to turn my camera off here. Whew.
Holy
more
shit,
blood.
dude!
We need more blood.
Let's full screen that. Wow, man.
Yeah.
The attack just started.
Dude, we are loving that shit. We are loving that shit.
That was nice.
Damn.
Sorry. Well, they don't call me the Boner King for nothing, you know. Everybody got excited.
Fuck yeah, man.
Dude, that is beautiful stuff, man.
Thanks, buddy.
God, I knew, you talked about doing a pirate book, and I guess I hadn't actually considered what that would mean from Vinny, a pirate book. And now I think we got our first indication of what that means.
Yeah, you got a taste, all right.
Yo ho ho.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, man. I'm telling you. Great.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of ho.
That's what I'm saying. Beautiful locations, really violent pages. I'm going all out on this one, but for Scotsman, you got to make sure I get those pirate wenches in there.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say there better be a lot of booty.
It's going to be some booty for sure.
Pirate booty.
Michael Bancroft, he's awesome.
Dude, Bancroft.
I can't wait for Lucent. I love that concept.
Lucent is such a beautiful fucking thing. And then he helped launch, Hell Salad,
yes, he did.
Legendary, launch day. Bancroft just really propelled this into a successful launch day.
They called it the Bancroft effect.
the Bancroft bump.
I love his Lucent video. That slow burn, that bing. You've got those little beats. You know what I mean? Those water drips. It really fucks with my head. I really like it a lot.
It is so good.
I want to learn how to dream like he dreams, man. I want to learn. I need to learn that lucid dreaming thing. Yeah. It's like my new mission.
And he's just really fun to hang out with too.
Yeah, sure is.
I've been on a bunch of streams with him so far. Dude, he's always a blast.
His Kiwi impression cracks me up.
Wait, there's a Kiwi impression? I thought. Wait, how different is Kiwi from Australian as far as sounding?
A lot, I'd say. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the nuances of the accent, there's a lot of differences. But like, if you just listen to it fast, you could get them mixed up.
It's like New York versus Boston, right? Like they're both speaking English, and someone from another country, maybe they sound the same, but they're different.
Maybe New York and Jersey.
Ah, okay.
Kind of like that. You know what I mean?
It's subtle.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
Dude, Michael, I made you a moderator. Please feel free to drop a link to your Lucent project. That's my secret here on this channel. Everybody's a mod.
There you go.
Well,
you're taking a page from Commie Mark's book there.
Everyone's a mod. Drop your links. Promote the shit out of CG.
I think you forgot one.
Oh, Vinny, are you not one?
Nope, not on your
oh
channel.
God damn,
Ouch.
Vinny.
Ouch.
Ooh, caught.
Was it really necessary for you to call me out publicly like that?
I
For that oversight?
I think he's saying it was necessary. I think.
No. Don't worry.
Well, it was certainly the quickest way to resolve the situation.
Well, since you were there, but the same thing's happened with me on my channel. There's a lot of people that I absolutely love, and I never gave them the wrench. And sometimes when one calls me out, I'll go on and I'll just start doing a bunch of them all in one shot.
I'm just like people you see them all over ComicsGate. They're there, they're present, they're contributing all the time. It's like, give them the wrench so they can help promote. They'll promote books. They'll give links. They'll do the right thing. This is what it's about.
I think I was one of Dan's first wrenches, and that's what I did right away. I was just dropping links like a.
I have no wrenchers now.
Oh shit!
You have no wrenches.
I lost my wrench too.
FragaBOOM's like, now I got no wrenches.
I have no wrenchers, so when I do my first stream, which I think I'm doing tonight, I gotta get people in there and I can be like Oprah. You get a wrench. You get a wrench.
I'll make myself known to get my rent there.
No, you gotta be like, we want $100. You give $100 donation, I'll give you a wrench.
Shit, I can't. I'm not even monetized anymore. I'm not even monetized anymore, man.
Oh man, you're down there. You're down there in the trenches with the likes of this channel.
Yeah,
this is a great channel, man. So thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
So Rot, we doing the Deuce tonight?
The Deuce? No, hell no. Should we?
What?
You know what? My thoughts on the Deuce, Atomic Deuce, was like first Friday of the month. Spectacular. I know that Scotsman's like, no, if you don't do it every week, it's fucking meaningless.
I'm not saying it's meaningless. I'm just saying, like, you lose your fire, man. See, what you're going through right now is you're going through that content pressure. You know what I mean? Every content creator goes through that. Is it that? Dude,
I feel like it's just fucking wrecking my life.
Well, see, that's the thing. Everybody thinks it's easy to run a show until you have to run one.
No, it's a pain in the ass.
Right. Dude. If you have no mission and you just let the guests fucking carry the show, then you turn on the camera, get everybody together, and you riff, and it's fine. But if you've got a format,
these guys are a bunch of amateurs. I would run a stream and then leave and let
you're just like American flag, bitches. I'm out. See ya.
But I mean, if you wanna have an engaging show where there's a lot of laughs and everybody's working off each other and you have segments and stuff, it takes some setup. It takes some time.
It takes a lot of time, dude. Basically, for me to do Atomic Deuce, I would literally put in like 8 hours of prep time.
Wow.
No, that's fucking crazy.
No, over the course of a week, I'd be like hunting down shit, creating like little promos, videos.
You know how much
it's like a lot of time.
I'm ashamed of my last appearance on the Atomic Deuce.
What? Why? You were really hot. You were like really fucked up, dude.
I was 10 sheets to the wind. I was out of my damn mind, and I'm like, yeah, right.
It's okay, dude. Don't worry about it. YouTube probably canceled it anyway. It's probably gone forever.
Yeah. Damn.
Didn't they all get taken down?
That's the other thing about, dude.
You sent me an invite, one of the last ones you did. I went to go on again, and it's like, it's gone. What the fuck?
Scotsman, that's the other thing. Every time I do the show, it gets nuked. Every time, dude.
What?
Every time.
Maybe they don't like the word deuce.
Who keeps nuking?
I don't know. I feel like it's another malicious attack kind of thing, but every time, man, it's so exhausting. Well, then I have to try and get it reloaded and downloaded and it's just exhausting. Like,
when you ride the line of fair use, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you fall into the face of the waves. Sometimes you crash into the rocks, man. Who knows?
So you're saying do the deuce? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I would go there and do some sexy coloring time.
Ooh.
What time?
Well,
are you
we
planning?
always like that.
If you do happen to, what time are you going to do it?
We always what time is it? Like
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Pacific,
Eastern.
No? 8 p.m. Pacific.
Oh yeah, Pacific. So it's like 11. It's 11 Eastern.
Yeah.
That's the danger of how late you do it.
Yeah.
It's like if you were like 8 o'clock, I just put the kids to bed, and that's when I start drinking. So by 11, you're like, come
by
in
11,
rap.
you're like, poof, gone.
Come in and rap, man.
Yeah.
Dude, wait, some of the best moments, dude, were when you came in and dropped fire on that show. I love that, man. And just the fact, and this speaks to you coming into ComicsGate, right? Your generosity with your time and talents, just given to whatever size the channel was, it didn't matter to you. You were just given all over the place.
Fun is fun, man.
This has been appreciated. It's always
back
appreciated,
at you, dude.
man. Yeah.
Right back at you. I appreciate the fun. That's what I'm saying. Fun is fun, man. Like, good times are happening everywhere.
Fun and hanging with just really cool people.
Amen.
That's right. That's right.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get going. Usually when the storms are bad here,
we're all gonna get going.
Moody's
It's time.
falling.
It's time. It's time
it's
to
time.
close.
All right.
It's time to close this out. I got to tell you, thank you, Dan, for being here, sharing your wisdom, your inspiration. George, the blue Caesar is upon us. Scotsman TV dropped in. Bristolian Dave was hanging out. Vinny Art. I appreciate all you guys. This has been a great show. Chat, as always, appreciated every moment, every comment, everything that you contributed to the show. And we'll see you Monday. And don't forget, I got to tell you guys, I'm excited about this. Death Metal Hero drops the vocals to the premiere of Roll the Bones. It's a new metal track, exclusive to the Butch Cleaver campaign, which is launching tomorrow.
Looks awesome.
We're gonna premiere this shit tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. I got to tell you, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So check that out, and we'll see you Monday on Midday Repartee.